Hello, and welcome to a virtual tour of Domaine de la Côte. Domaine de la Côte sits on the far western edge of the Santa Rita Hills appellation, at the beginning of the Santa Rosa Road corridor. Our domain is a collection of 6 vineyards planted over 40 acres. Memorious, Bloomsfield, Siren's Call, Clos Juliet, La Côte, and 15.5 acres of appellation Santa Rita Hills. Dramatically rising to an elevation of 700 feet above the Santa Ynez River, the domain lies on an ancient 25-million-year-old siliceous and diatomaceous seabed, 7 miles from the Pacific Ocean. Originally part of the Evening Land Vineyards program, the domain was purchased by Raj Par and Sashi Morman, along with their partner, at the beginning of 2013. Sashi discovered the site and developed the vineyards with Chris King in 2007. Vineyards were planted entirely to California heritage selections at extremely high vine densities of 4,000 to 7,000 vines per acre, unprecedented at the time for the appellation. Although the domain spans a mere 40 acres, the diversity of its climat is staggering, each vineyard with its unique geology, aspect, elevation, and microclimate. Such distinct expressions of site in such close proximity is unparalleled in California. We organically farm our vineyards and make wines with the philosophy of add nothing, take nothing away. All our wines are produced and bottled at our winery in the town of Lompoc, just 3 miles from the domain in Santa Barbara County. The chalky, ancient diatomaceous seabed on which the domain sits is most strikingly visible on the escarpment which forms the domain's western border. This cliff rises dramatically from Sweeney Road on the estate's windward side. To the leeward side of the estate and the specific lieu-dit, the soils vary meaningfully, and each planting is laid out to capture and express these differences. Let's begin at Memorious, currently the lowest site on the domain's western edge. This 3.5-acre Pinot Noir vineyard is planted at 4,000 vines to the acre. With the 13 vintage, a portion of this vineyard merited its own bottling. Now we move up the ridge to Bloomsfield, a 7.5-acre parcel of iron-laden clay loam over shale that lies on the western edge of the domain. Bloomsfield faces gently to the south, but has a clear view west to the Pacific, and therefore is unprotected from the marine influences of wind and fog. The environmental pressures have a profound impact on the growth of the vine, the morphology of the clusters, and the textures, flavors, and aromas of the wine. Next, we move east to La Côte. This 9-acre parcel faces southeast on a steep slope of broken shale. Because La Côte lies behind the massive cliff of diatomaceous earth, it is protected from the direct influence of the Pacific. With its southeast exposition, the vineyard absorbs the energy of the morning sun, and the exposed shale warms the vines through the nighttime chill. As a result, La Côte is the first vineyard we harvest and reliably produces our most opulent wine. From La Côte, we move towards the apex of the domain. Here, stretching from 600 to 700 feet elevation, are Siren's Call and Clos Juliet. Planted to Pinot Noir and Chardonnay respectively, Siren's Call and Clos Juliet sit atop a massive cliff of diatomaceous earth and are exposed to the most intense environmental pressures of any of our plantings. To best protect against the wind, Sashi and Chris chose to plant at a density of 7,000 vines to the acre. We hope this in-depth look at Domaine de la Côte offers you a deeper understanding of our wines. Thank you for taking the time to learn a bit more about Domaine de la Côte and for representing the wines from this special place.